In the last 48 hours, the cryptocurrency market has lost over 50% of its value, okay? So Bitcoin literally went from $60,000 down to $30,000, and Ethereum went from $4,300 all the way down to below $2,000. And as always in the cryptocurrency market, as it's filled with retail traders, retail investors, we are either seeing it's all in or all out, okay? People get super emotional about cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. We are seeing people literally praising those coins, saying it will completely change the world, and other people calling it a complete scam. So literally in the past 48 hours, we went from complete excitement, complete greed in the market, everyone was in to make money, to complete panic, complete fear, not knowing what the future holds, no one really sure about if they should hold their coin, they should hold Bitcoin, etc. So in this highly requested video, we're going to first of all see basically what caused the drop, etc. Then we're going to really look at the whole bull market of Bitcoin, what really happened in terms of chronology, okay, fundamentally speaking. We'll go on the actual screens, I'll show you my charts, and we'll look at it on the technical perspective, okay? So after studying the bull run's fundamental and the technical side, that's when we're going to actually look at what's next to come for Bitcoin, okay? What's my personal view? What have I personally done with my money? Am I in Bitcoin? Am I not in Bitcoin? So definitely watch this video until the end. So here on the charts, let's look quickly at the chronology and basically what happened in that latest bull run, why have the moves occurred, okay? So everything started really at the break of this 20,000 level. So if you remember, in beginning and mainly 2017, we had the main crash of crypto and the top was at 20,000. So this resistance was very significant, especially we know that in the crypto space, obviously round numbers and psychology is very present, especially with retail traders, okay? So that's when we saw a break. Why did we see a break? First of all, momentum, okay? We can see literally right here, let's go on the daily chart probably. We can see momentum had been building up to that 20,000, and that's actually when I had my largest holdings in crypto, in Bitcoin, because that move was actually fueled by institutional money, okay, so there was bigger money behind it. That's why I entered quite aggressively at the break of the 20,000 level, because I wasn't necessarily seeing that as an investment, but rather as a trade. That for me was definitely a trade, the break of the 20,000 level, okay? So we did see that break, momentum continued, just because we had that institutional money coming in and more people using cryptos and Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin was literally seen as a store of value, okay? Bitcoin was also seen as something that could cover for inflation. As we know, inflation is starting to pick up. We had CPI numbers come out not too long ago in the US, and we are definitely seeing inflation rising. Okay, so Bitcoin was seen as a good hedge against inflation. So that's why we saw momentum coming up and basically price doubling, going from that 20,000 break all the way up to 40,000, okay? So this for me was a healthy move, okay? That for me was definitely a healthy move. We saw some correction, profit taking, whatever. This for me was totally normal. Now, when things get a little bit different was from the 8th of Feb, okay? So 8th of Feb was literally this big blue candle, okay? What happened on the 8th of Feb? We had Tesla. So Elon Musk tweeted that Tesla would now accept Bitcoin as a payment method. So obviously Bitcoin rallied just after this, okay? We literally took something like 20% in the day. Literally 20% in one day for Bitcoin, which is absolutely huge for such a big asset. And after this, we obviously saw many other companies such as Shopify, such as PayPal, basically saying that they would consider taking Bitcoin as payment method and looking into cryptos. A lot of companies also bought cryptos to have their reserves in cryptos. Tesla also did it. So yeah, basically we saw a lot of hype around this and a lot of retail investors get pulled in, okay? So that was the whole move up to around $64,000 for Bitcoin. We also had stimulus packages in the US fueling money into Bitcoin, okay? People literally are looking to get a return on their money, and as we know, all the interest rates, especially in the US and developed countries, are very, very, very low, to 0%. So having money in the bank doesn't make any sense. So people were looking to get returns, seeing that we were in a crypto bull market, Bitcoin was rallying, people were buying Bitcoin. So this is what fueled the move. I think after that correction of institutional money, fueled the move all the way up to around those 65,000 levels. So from here, everything was okay, everyone was happy. Now what happened from these levels is obviously some profit taking, okay? People selling their positions in order to take out profit. So we did have some sort of volatility on the market, okay? We had this major drop, some correction. But then what really followed, and I mean that correction is in a way healthy, okay? But what followed and what was the issue, okay, was, remember when Tesla and Elon Musk announced that Tesla was taking Bitcoin as payment and we had this big 20% candle? Well, the exact opposite happened right here, okay, on the 12th of May. So you can see literally that candle is about the same size of this one, simply because Tesla, so Elon Musk, announced on Twitter that Tesla would no longer accept payments in Bitcoin because of environmental issues caused by Bitcoin. I don't really know why he would say that, because I think Elon Musk is not someone stupid. He knew the environmental impact of Bitcoin before even talking about it. So who knows, maybe that's something he actually did on purpose. I wouldn't see Elon Musk putting the whole crypto community against him, like just for nothing, just because he didn't make his research and didn't know about environmental issues about Bitcoin. That just sounds a bit weird. Okay, literally that would mean the whole crypto community would probably not buy Tesla, damage his reputation, etc. So I really don't understand why he would do that, apart from him literally wanting crypto prices, Bitcoin, to actually be lower. Why? Maybe to buy more, who knows? But yeah, that's something I think is quite important to note, is why would he want to do that? Okay, why would he position himself as the crypto god? Why would he position himself trying, literally tanking the price of Bitcoin, getting so many hate out of it? There must be some profit taking around it. So this is what really fueled this down move, and then it was just followed by China literally placing a ban on financial institutions against crypto. Now, once again, this fueled the move down. Do I think this is something big? It is a news to which people would react. However, we have seen many other things get banned in China, such as Google. Okay, one of the big ones, Google, is banned in China. Facebook, WhatsApp is banned in China, and these companies are performing really, really well. The market cap always keeps growing. So that for me is not an indication that Bitcoin is necessarily dead, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, that's really the fundamentals, what drove the last bull market, what also caused that latest drawdown, okay, in Bitcoin. But now I really want to go over it technically, because technically Bitcoin was really, really interesting in that bull market, okay? So, as I said, the break of 20,000 was sort of expected just by looking at the price action, okay? Just by looking at the price action, we had that momentum that was just super strong. We had no lower lows, okay? Every low was higher, just showing that momentum and literally that break. I mean, everything was very clean to the upside, okay? But what I really want to note is that latest correction we had. Before that correction, that main drawdown in Bitcoin, we had some very clear price action that actually foreshadowed that move down in Bitcoin, okay? So let me illustrate my point right now. So we had obviously that move up, as we've seen, okay? Correction, which was normal. This correction was brought back, okay, around the 30,000 level. People came back in strongly, 30,000 levels. We actually had a double bottom, and that's when things rallied again, okay? Rallied all the way to 58,000. Now, the way I want you to think about this is forget the fact that Bitcoin is a virtual asset. Think of it as the price of a car, okay? Literally, why did people buy at 30,000? Simply because they think that's a good price to buy that specific car, okay? 30,000 is a good price, so a bunch of people buy that car, and that's why the price is rallying, okay? At this point, okay, we were literally 40,000, people keep buying. Why? Because people still want that car at that price. It's considered a fair price, so people actually buy it, okay? And that's all the way up to literally 58,000. So what happened at 58,000? People are selling. Why are people selling? Simply because that car is not worth 58,000 anymore, okay? It's too expensive for that car. So people do not want to buy that car for 58,000. They think it's not fair, it's not a fair value. So no one is actually buying. So if no one's buying, obviously people are just selling. That's what's causing that sell-off, okay? And people are no longer buying, okay? We're coming down all the way to 50,000. 50,000 people still do not want to buy Bitcoin in that case, but let's say that car. 50,000 is still too expensive, and it's only coming back to basically 44,000, $45,000 dollar level that people started buying back again, okay, driving the price up. Now remember that last time Bitcoin went all the way up to 58,000, and that's when people thought it was no longer fair. That was not a fair value, so people started selling. No one was buying anymore. Well, this time, once we got to 58,000, people continued to buy. Okay, so we still had value here, and that's what drove the price all the way up to 61,500 level. That's when people started selling, because they no longer saw the value of Bitcoin at 61,500. It was too expensive, so no one is buying, okay? Then again, we had that dip. Remember, previously people started buying at 44,000. Well, right here, what happened? People came in much earlier, okay? Remember that before people were selling, now we are at 51,000 level, and people think it's actually a fair value to buy Bitcoin, okay? That's a fair value. So this is what we were seeing, okay? Buy flows coming in, always at higher prices, okay? And sell flows obviously coming in always at higher prices, right? And it was at that point, so around the 65,000, that people thought Bitcoin was too expensive. No one is actually buying. But the foreshadow of the move we had for me was definitely in here, okay? If we look at it, so we had sellers coming in, which is normal, we've seen that previously. However, as we've seen in the latest move, people came in about 51,500, okay? 51,500, people started buying back the asset because it's the fair value, okay? It's the fair value. People think it's valuable at that price. What happened is we got to that 51,500, no one was actually buying, okay? People actually decided to buy back when it was below that 50,000. So around the 47, 48,000 level, that's when people started buying back, which shows the fair value is actually changing. The fair value is going down, okay? People prefer to buy at lower prices now than they did in the past. So that for me is starting to show a shift in momentum to the downside. That's why we had some correction. Obviously people started buying like we saw previously, but again started selling no longer at 64,000, so that was not the fair exchange value. It was literally at 58, 59,000. That's when people started selling, okay? And that once again shows me that shift in momentum. So that's why personally I liquidated about 75% of my crypto portfolio during that correction, okay, around the 58,000 level, 59,000 level. This is when I liquidated most of my positions, because that was a point for me where a shift in momentum was very likely and downside was actually getting more concrete. So now if I show you my actual chart on Bitcoin, I'll show you my technical analysis behind it and what really fueled that move. So you can see exactly what I was talking about. So that move up, and we were having these lows always getting bought back. Okay, we had that dip lower, which broke this low basically, and we came back to fib levels, very clean. That's when I told you I liquidated most of my positions on crypto holdings, liquidated there, and then we had the drop, okay? One thing I also like to do when we're looking at exponential charts, which is the case of Bitcoin, okay, price is just rallying, it's to look at it on the log chart, okay? So if we look at it on the log chart, you'll actually see that moves look way more normal, just like an FX chart, for instance, rather than something absolutely crazy. And we actually have some clean trend lines, okay? And that's the point I wanted to get into. What's my personal positioning right now, okay? So as I'm making this video, it's Monday, 24th of May. And yesterday, so on Sunday, I just added back a weight on my crypto holdings, mainly on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm not a crypto fanatic, I'm not a crypto expert, okay? That's why I generally stick to the coins which have the highest market cap. I see this as an investment, okay? Not as a get rich quick solution to buy Dogecoin or Shiba or whatever, okay? So my current positioning, why did I enter yesterday, so on Sunday, okay? So I literally entered on that dip that we had right here. We had the same on Ethereum as well, okay? And so my reason behind this was, first of all, the 30,000 level, which is a big support level for Bitcoin, okay? I'm just talking about Bitcoin in this video, but the 30,000 level is a big support, which was noted here. Remember, that was the end of the correction that happened because of the healthy move up to 40,000 level, which was driven by institutional money, okay? Not driven by some tweets by Elon Musk, not driven by some hype, by fear of missing out moves, etc. No, this was a move that was driven by institutional money, and that's when it ended, okay? That's when the correction of it ended. That's why 30,000 for me was a super important level, okay? That support of 30,000, all right? So that's the first thing. Secondly is that trend line, okay? As I said, if we look at it on the log chart, we had this one touch, two touch, and this is literally the third touch that happened just perfectly, okay? So as I said, for me, I liquidated 75% of my crypto holdings in that correction to the upside towards fib levels, and I'm basically just adding back, obviously with more weight because the price is much lower, okay? We had from the top a correction of 50% down to that 30,000 level. So yes, so as I said, I entered yesterday. That's just my personal positioning. I'm not saying that this is the bottom for cryptos, okay, for Bitcoin. That's just for me. Technically, fundamentally, it does make sense to enter around these 30,000 level, which is what I did. Now, some quick facts about my holding that I really wanted to share is, first of all, the amount of cryptos and like Bitcoin, etc. that I hold in my portfolio is about 5% of my total portfolio, okay? That means that a drop in crypto, let's say I did not get out at these 57, 58, 59,000 levels, a drop in Bitcoin of 50% does not damage my net worth at all, okay? Because that would be, let's say a 50% drop will actually cause my holdings to go from 5% to 2.5%, which globally for my net worth, for my portfolio, is a very small drop, okay? And it's a risk I'm happy to take, and it's a very small risk considering. Now, on the basis of that 5%, that for me is an amount I'm comfortable with, to have 5% of my total portfolio in cryptos, and that's why I reallocated. As I said, I took money out of cryptos right here, and this is why I added back at that 30,000 level, just to get back to that 5% global holding of my portfolio, okay? Maybe that holding will increase if the Bitcoin prices obviously increase, then I'll maybe look to take out profits if I'm not comfortable with the amount I'm having in cryptos. But basically this is why I added back into cryptos. It's because I had taken money out, okay? It's just as simple as this. But really what I want to say is that too many people see Bitcoin as just something to get rich, okay? An investment to get rich quickly, instead of seeing it as a way to diversify, okay? For sure, as I said, I entered, so yesterday on the Sunday, around the 30,000 level, I had a limit order. So obviously, since today, I'm up 24%. If you look in terms of large amounts, okay, 24% on a large amount for sure is a lot of money. So I did make a very significant amount of money in just 24 hours. However, that upside is just what people expect. However, that downside could have also happened, okay? And this is why I only have 5% of my portfolio, because if I did see a minus 20% in the day, and I had 80% of my portfolio, shit, that's a very big hit I'm taking, okay? So that's one thing that I see too many people doing, is they're just thinking about the upside, not thinking about the down. They're just thinking about the upside and not thinking about the downside, okay? They're just seeing cryptos as a way to get rich. But no, at the end of the day, it should be one part, one piece of the puzzle of your global investing portfolio, okay? And just a way to diversify your asset, to also hedge potentially against other assets which could lose, etc. Now, one last thing I also would like to say is that I know that a lot of people that are invested in cryptos have very large holdings in comparison to their net worth, okay? They probably have 80%, 90% of their portfolio on Bitcoin, on these cryptos. And I mean, that can be a choice. However, you need to understand the volatility of it and the drawdowns you are going to get. And what I mean is that if you are extra weighted into these assets, okay, the downside is actually greater than your potential upside, okay? What I mean by that is you must think that, let's say you have a portfolio of 100,000 and you actually put 100,000 in Bitcoin, and from here, from that 30,000 level, let's say a Bitcoin comes all the way back to 60,000 to the top, you're making 100%, let's say in a month or 2 months. So that essentially means your portfolio went from 100,000 to 200,000 in a month or 2 months, which is absolutely great. However, what I'm saying by the downside is more likely than the upside is that when you invest with very big amount in terms of percentage of your net worth, you will get emotional, so you will tend to make stupid decisions, such as panic selling, okay? Panic selling because, oh shit, my whole portfolio, my whole savings, everything is down, maybe all of this was just a scam, and you make a decision and you panic sell, okay? This is something people will do if they are emotionally involved because they have too much. As I said, I am not panic selling. Why? Because I have 5% of my portfolio in it, okay? If tomorrow Bitcoin drops all the way to 15,000, I'm not going to sell at 15,000, okay? Because I don't need that money because it's 5% of my portfolio. Everything was calculated. However, obviously, if I had 90% of my portfolio in Bitcoin, shit, then things look very different. And as I said, the human brain, human emotions mean that the downside is actually more likely to happen than the upside in Bitcoin. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know a lot of you are looking at cryptos. Personally, I think that cryptocurrency is something that could be the future. As I said, that doesn't mean I'm making a gamble and putting everything I have in Bitcoin and Bitcoin to the moon and buying shit coins and listening to what social media has to say. Yeah, I'm still making my own decisions. It's part of my portfolio diversification, and yeah, that's my personal opinion on Bitcoin. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions whatsoever, also please leave them down in the comments. I'll read every single question. You can also send me a message directly on Instagram, which appears right here. I post a video here on YouTube every single Sunday about finance, trading, investing. So if that's a subject you are interested in, please subscribe to this channel. I wish you an amazing rest of the day. It was Elliot. Peace.